Hey everyone, today I have the Star Wars The Black Series Clone Commander Bacara. Now this is a clone trooper commander from the third prequel movie, Revenge of the Sith. It is a new release at the time of this recording, and so we're gonna take a look at his back, get a quick rundown of who Bacara is. Now Bacara is a clone martial commander, the same as Commander Cody, but we're looking at the figure. We're not going to do a whole lore rundown of Bacara. So let's get him out of the back packaging and take a look. Okay, so we have him out of the packaging, and we'll take a look at what he comes with and before we look at the figure itself. So he does just come with the standard Clone Trooper blasters, the DC-15A. We've seen this multiple times before. Just unpainted in a gray plastic. And then he also has his DC-15S, which is the same thing, unpainted in plastic, and we've seen this 100 some times with other clone troopers. So, nothing exciting for his accessories, but the figure itself is what we're more excited for. So let's pull him off the stand, bring him close. So he does have some paint work. Instead of just being a plain white clone, he has the cloth on his helmet, which he is wearing a modified Phase 2 Clone Trooper armor. And so he does have painting on the pads. He has painting on the shoulder pad and across his bandolier. And then he does have these two like straps for the Karma. But right off the bat with the painting, he is supposed to be painted a maroon, and his Karma should be a maroon dye as well, but it's more of a magenta pink, and it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look quite how it should. But I mean, when you have it at a distance, it still looks like him. It'll pass as Commander Bacara. So now we're going to take a look at the other details. So on his back, he does kind of have like an integrated backpack. He has two of the clone thermal detonators, some extra charge packs. And that's just over on his back. It's not like a full backpack, but extra accessories. And then he has his belt with some sculpted detail, no painted detail, but most clones don't have painted details on their belts anyways. He does also have this antenna at the top with a painted stripe around the back. Not the most wowed figure. He also does have this kind of metallic on his bandolier for the buckle and the pad right there. I mean, he does look nice for a 6-inch scale clone trooper. He will work in the display, but the color of the paint on the Karma and the shoulder pad, it's too off to kind of be ignored. So I may have to do some custom painting and swap out the Karma, which the Karma is a loose cloth, so you can bunch it and bend it. But other than that, it's kind of lifeless. Doesn't actually have any posing to it. You could take like a paper clip and glue it on the inside to get poses, but other than that, you can kind of bend it a little bit here and there. But other than that, there's not a whole ton of detail. He is just a plain clone trooper, but we're going to just take a look at more in-depth view of him. His armor is an overlay over a torso, so you can kind of get some wiggle to it. His head is kind of short on the neck. As you can see, it just touches the armor at the neck and the edges of the helmet, making him kind of look short and squatted. But again, at a distance, it works. And then on mine, the Karma is supposed to be under the belt, but mine came untucked at some point, I guess. And so and that's the other part, is the belt is super high. Like, try to stretch it down, but I think it's because of the shoulder pad, but his belt is super high up on his waist rather than down where it should be. You can kind of pull it down. Maybe some heat and stretching will fix that. And it could just be mine as well. But, all right. So, and then these two straps here go on the inside. They're not attached to anything. They're just kind of floating in the air. But yeah, visually, it's not the best Hasbro has ever done in the Black Series, but I'm happy to have him. So we're going to take a quick look at the articulation. Not a huge in-depth view because it is just the standard Clone Trooper body, the new one. So we have a butterfly joint at the shoulders. You can see it kind of pop out there. Forward and back is kind of limited because the forward goes there, about that. Okay. So pull it up, you can get him closer. And then that's the out movement. The shoulder pad is on a separate piece, so it can move back and forth like that. Or you can have it go separately back and stuff for more dynamic posing, I guess. And then the head does not go back hardly at all, and it looks down a little bit. And then the tilt is extremely hindered by the helmet, and I think the torso being shoved up so much. And then he also it can look all the way around. That is not hindered, but he will catch on his pauldron. And then the pauldron also limits the arm because it pushes down on that pad, on the shoulder pad. So he can go out that far, and then he can go up to that, and then he can go in, but that plate on the chest, it does push the arm back out, but then he can go back that far. And then the waist, he can look down that far, back that far, and go to neutral, and then the hips are the same. Do that, go forward and back. Because the Karma is soft goods, it gets out of the way nicely and it doesn't hinder any movement. May end up gluing those to the inside of the Karma though, or the legs maybe, because they do constantly pop out when you're moving them. Though this one is warped on mine, as you can see. It's possible I just got a really defective version. But then the knees go about that. Shoulder, the knee pad is glued to the top of the knee. And then just the ankle is a standard. So just nothing too exciting. Because it is a clone body, I am not going to take too much of a look at him articulation wise, because it's nothing new. And so he can hold his blasters fairly well. Pull it in. Just his hands are kind of hard, so they're not as soft as other releases of this Clone Trooper body, but he is able to get it up to where he is looking down the sights of it. Fairly easy. And then also the longer blaster is the same. Get it. Though the stock does hinder the aim of it a bit, he is still able to get it somewhat into an aiming position. Like that. And then pulling that distance. So there is no official Black Series 6-inch Galactic Marines for his Clone Battalion, but in 2007 there was a white version released, so I just grabbed some Imperial Snowtroopers to go side by side with him for comparison. So just for my head canon, these are shiny clones that haven't gotten their maroon paint job yet. And also, for comparison, pull them aside, I have Ki-Adi-Mundi, who is his Jedi General. So there is a look of them all side by side. And while I am disappointed in the fact that the paint job is not the right color and that the belt rides super high on his midsection, it is a character I'm happy to have in the collection in some form, but it's definitely not the best release of this figure ever. So, but thank you for watching. I hope this video was informational, and I do enjoy the character, but the figure not so much. It is honestly a letdown. So, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.